On the historic occasion of the election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope, Musketeer AI proudly presents a special documentary series, Leo XIV, A Journey of Dignity and Wisdom. This is more than just a story. It's an experience where faith meets the future through artificial intelligence. Powered by the AI video generator VideoGen, this series recreates the life, mission, and vision of Pope Leo XIV, a spiritual leader bringing hope and open the road to the papacy. How Pope Leo XIV was chosen. In the spring of 2025, the world watched with bated breath as white smoke rose from the Sistine Chapel. A new chapter was beginning. But before the name Pope Leo XIV echoed across St. Peter's Square, a journey of decades had quietly unfolded. A journey of faith, humility, and conviction. Born in 1955 in Chicago, Robert Francis Prevost was not born into power or privilege. His early years were shaped by Midwestern values, a strong Catholic upbringing, and a deep desire to serve. While many young men of his generation chased ambition, Robert chased meaning. From an early age, he felt called to something deeper. He studied engineering, but the noise of machines couldn't quiet the whisper in his soul. So he entered the Augustinian order, embracing a life of simplicity, study, and service. Born in 1955 in Chicago, Robert Francis Prevost was not born into power or privilege. His early years were shaped by Midwestern values, a strong Catholic upbringing, and a deep desire to serve. While many young men of his generation chased ambition, Robert chased meaning. From an early age, he felt called to something deeper. He studied engineering, but the noise of machines couldn't quiet the whisper in his soul. So he entered the Augustinian order, embracing a life of simplicity, study, and service. That pursuit of meaning took him far from home. In the 1980s, he traveled to Peru, a land rich in spirit but scarred by poverty and injustice. For more than 20 years, Robert Prevost served the people of Chiclayo as a missionary, pastor, and friend. He learned their language, lived their hardships, and became one of them. He didn't just visit Peru. He became part of its soul. He walked dirt paths with bare feet beside him, sat beside the dying, held children orphaned by conflict, and broke bread with the hungry. He baptized in streams, wept in funerals, and danced during festivals. His faith wasn't preached, it was lived. This quiet service built a foundation of trust, not just in Peru, but in the eyes of the global church. His empathy, his steadiness, and his refusal to seek titles made him stand out. He became provincial of the Augustinians, then Bishop of Chiclayo. Yet his heart never left the streets. By 2023, Robert was called to Rome. As prefect of the dicastery for bishops, he worked closely with dioceses around the world. Known for his deep discernment and pastoral heart, he brought a missionary spirit into the corridors of power. And so, when Pope Francis passed away in April 2025, the eyes of the Church turned toward the future. The conclave convened with urgency and prayer. 133 cardinals entered the Sistine Chapel. 4 rounds of voting followed. In an age of division and disillusionment, the Church sought not a politician but a shepherd. Someone who could listen. Someone who had walked with the poor. Someone whose authority came not from power, but presence. On May 8, 2025, Cardinal Robert Prevost became Pope Leo XIV, the first American pontiff, the first missionary in generations to hold the keys of Peter. His election wasn't a surprise to those who knew him. It was a calling recognized by a weary world. In that single moment, the square fell silent. It was not a declaration of triumph, but an invitation to unity. He did not retreat behind walls. He stepped into the world. His first weeks as Pope were spent not at desks, but in dialogue, with refugees, with scientists, with victims of war. He prayed with the grieving, debated with youth, and listened more than he spoke. From Peru to the Vatican, his story is not one of climbing ladders, but of carrying crosses. He was not chosen for power, but for presence. For a heart shaped by the people. For a church that must again learn to kneel before it leads. This is the road to the papacy. And for Pope Leo XIV, it is just the beginning. In a world transformed by technology, one leader stands rooted in compassion. Pope Leo XIV, the first of his kind, in an era shaped by AI. This is where tradition meets tomorrow. This is Musketeer AI channel. Subscribe now and be part of history, powered by intelligence and guided by faith.